remarkable encounter between the current and the past headboards, a fusion of dreams, stories, and wisdom that unveils a vivid portrait of ICRI's transformative journey.
If our Interact Club had a secret code name for each of the headboard members, what supposed it to be?
A bunch of noobs, I'd say, because at first we didn't really know what to do. And during the first few months we actually struggled, but however we were able to overcome everything. I got a really supportive set of headboard members, and even my members were new. So we got a hold of everything. We adapted to everything, and yeah.
If Interact had a yearbook, which superlative would you give yourself as the secretary?
Well, as the outgoing secretary, I'd consider myself the most outgoing board member.
As a treasurer, you might have faced a lot of financial issues in the club. So out of all the financial things, what was your most unexpected thing you should face, and how did you manage those stuff?
Yeah, so as a treasurer, apparently there were many many places where we had to spend a lot, and we had to call finances. So the most unexpected one was, I think, at Retrowave. We had to pay a huge advance to one of the places. So it was a total of about 70,000 or something. So luckily, we had enough finances through all the other incomes we had from our quarters. So yeah, I think that was the most unexpected expense we had.
How many coffee cups did it take for you to survive through extra long meetings and making the year-end reports?
I don't drink coffee as often during meetings. During exam season, sure.
You stay awake.
I don't. I naturally stay awake. I struggle with sleeping, not staying awake.
What's the funniest memory you have of assisting with an event as the vice president?
Okay, so I'm pretty sure it was a project called Daisy Night, and as committee we had to come there beforehand, at 11 a.m. Right, Aisha? Where's Aisha? I can't find her. But we definitely did not come at 11. But the whole point was because the event started around late, say 4 or 5. We had to change. So me and my closest friends, 2 of them, we went to the changing rooms, and okay, so I was the only reasonable guy who brought a towel. The other 2 did not. One of them brought a face towel to wrap around while they were changing, but obviously a face towel won't cover everything. Brainy people. But the other dude, who's much worse, didn't even bring a towel. So we had to share one towel. I know, gross. But the funny thing was, it started raining and there was a window. So water was spraying as one of them was changing. So he was near the window, and while he was changing, it started raining. So he had to move. He sprint across the room thing, but as he did, the towel fell. So glad it was just us 3, but after he got changed, a man walked in, like a middle-aged man, and he thought we were up to some weird stuff. So yeah, that was funny in the moment.
Yes, it was. It must have been.
As the past editor, if you could create an Interact editor starter kit, what essential items and quirky gadgets would it contain to help the new editor succeed?
So when it comes to editing, there's a lot of new software involved, right? Stuff like Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere Pro, and After Effects, which could take a lot of getting used to and getting to know all of them. And what I would suggest is some sort of tutorial or workshop that would help the editor get used to this, right? And furthermore, editing comes with a lot of work. There are times where it gets hard to handle them, right? Which one to prioritize and all of that. And I feel like an in-depth tutorial into all of this would really help the editor, especially with this kind of stuff. And then there's also getting these software, which at times is hard because obviously you have to pay for most of these and they cost a lot as well, but there are methods of getting them for free, of course, which have to be taught and explained to the new editor. and I would say that's what is mostly needed. And when it comes to editing, again, it's the skill of the person editing rather than the gadgets and softwares they manage to use, right? So that's what takes you to the other levels.
Can you please explain an instance where you have handled a friendly rivalry between intra-clubs?
Okay, so this goes back to like the beginning of my Interact year. I won't say what the project was, or I won't mention any names for obvious reasons, but it was mostly like where we had 3 clubs, and one of them was MIA completely, right? And we were obviously facing lack of support. So, and we did like, you know, point the problem out and everything, but nothing worked. So I think what I did was, what my club and the other club did was, we maintained like only work-related relationships. We never went as far as to making an actual bond, because we didn't see that happening there. And I think that solved our situation. There was no any further, you know, rivalry between us, because it was only work-related, right? So nothing really happened between us.
If the club had Olympics, yes, which events would you participate in and which ones would you dominate at?
Badminton. Yeah, and carom. I did carom for interaction, but Nimansa didn't know how to play, so it was a fail.
What do you regret the most?
The regret I have is it ended too soon, because I wish I could spend more time with my exco and along with Interact. So yeah, that's the regret I have.
So the last question I have is, what was the most creative excuse that even I could use that you used to delay posters when deadlines are closing in?
The best excuse, I would say, is the workload, which everyone is going to believe, because it actually is a very hectic workload. But with the right team, you'll be able to manage that, so don't worry about that. But just say the workload, it's going to get you.
Okay, so looking back on your term as Sergeant at Arms, what's the one achievement you are most proud of, and how did it contribute to maintaining a positive and welcoming environment in our Interact Club?
Okay, so I think this comes with being like a sergeant at arms, where I have to maintain discipline in the club. So there was this time where I kicked out a board member because nothing was happening, and it was a difficult decision that the exco had to make, but it was essential in the year for us to move forward. And as time passed by, I think we saw change in him, like outside of the Intra Club. So we decided to give him like a second chance to join the board back. And he hesitated at first, and then he joined. And when he joined, he took baby steps. And as time passed by, like including him in our board was like probably one of the best decisions we made, because like we climbed to greater heights.
So were there any moments that got discouraged during the year when you are working, and what motivated you and kept you going?
There were definitely moments that discouraged me and my exco as well. But I would say what kept me going is definitely that I had this feeling that like everyone's counting on me. So all my members, all the 156 members that I had in my club, everyone's counting on me. So I had that feeling, which is what kept me going. My board, my exco, and my members, definitely.